let's talk about something actually fun.
Okay.
We have the child above us, a.k.a. Baby Yoda, a.k.a. Grogu, a.k.a. now somebody else's Padawan, basically. Spoilers from here on out, because for the love of God, do not listen to this if you have not. What shit, Ruxin's here.
Disclaimer, I have not watched... I've probably watched like 2 Mandalorian episodes total from season 1. Go for it. I don't mind.
It's fine.
Anyways,
It's fine.
It's fine.
Spoilers from here on out. I'm going to put a big old spoiler tag on the screen whenever we get into editing this, but do not listen to anything else that we say. Ryan, do we just want to throw out what the craziest shit was in this episode, or do we just want to go beat by beat?
You decide.
Luke Skywalker, bitches!
Dude, okay. Did you realize that was Mark Hamill?
The voice, or...
No, he was like...
I heard somebody else was standing in for him.
I don't know.
I heard you. Okay, so and here's the thing. I've seen both. I've seen like he was there on set, but also like they had a stand-in for him.
Okay,
so I don't
like,
know what the hell.
I saw that story where he said like, oh, them keeping it a secret for over a year that I was in this episode is like the biggest miracle ever.
Yeah,
and I took it as like he was on set, like, and they CGI'd over his actual like
face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, but yeah, Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker shows up in a scene that is like a homage to Rogue One's Darth Vader scene, which is so fucking cool. Let's set up what happens in this episode before we get to the amazingness that was Luke Skywalker.
Okay, so like when we left off from that last episode, we had just got done with the Bill Burr episode.
Yes.
Grogu is still under Moff Gideon's...
He's a little tuckered out baby boy.
Lockdown, yeah. He's got the little baby cuffs. And all the stormtroopers are like, wait, we had baby cuffs? Or,
when did we have that?
Are we the bad guys?
Are we awful people?
So Grogu is still in chains. And...
he's still force throwing people all over the walls.
Yeah, and Mando just took his helmet off for the first time.
Yes, of this season.
Well, he didn't take it off last season.
Yeah, he did for IG-11. When he was like dying, he had to like take it off to like.
But we didn't see his face.
The wrong person, man.
You absolutely do.
How do I not remember this?
It's a scene where like IG-11, the little robot dude, is trying to like save his life because he had gotten blown up or something.
The one voiced by Taika?
Yeah, and he's like, I can't save you unless like I take your thing off, and he's like, no, like no human's supposed to see my face, and he's like, well, I'm not human.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh yep, loophole, and like.
We didn't see his face.
I thought you do for a couple seconds.
I swear to God, I don't think we saw his face.
I could have sworn.
Sounds like you're going to have to go back and rewatch it.
But anyways, so they are gearing up to go break Grogu out of Moff Gideon's little ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, what are all the characters' names? Is it Boca Raton or
Boca
It's close
It is now. I'm not gonna tell you the name. Bo-Katan. Boca Raton. I like it way better.
Isn't that where?
That's what it is now.
Isn't that where like Disney World is?
No, that's where FAU is.
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic is
close to Disney World, though. Right?
It is in It is in Florida.
Extremely.
It's like Miami.
Extremely affluent South Florida city.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Boca Raton. Yes, Boca Raton is on the ship.
The other Mandalorian, and then UFC chick.
Cara Dune. It's played by I'm forgetting her name now. Gosh darn it! How do I freaking forget her name?
The real character's name or
the actress's name?
The actress's name.
I see it all the time on. We're really off to a bad start. Whatever.
And it's superb.
Anyways,
just roll with it.
We're putting it on YouTube. No, so Cara Dune is on the ship. Boca Raton is on the ship.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett is like,
and his like Asian love robot.
Fennec Shand, I think is her name, who is going to be on something that we talk about at the end. She's basically a robot, but she is on there as well. So you have this badass scene where they like fly into the ship, and then them four come off, and they're just wrecking stormtroopers. And it's so funny because there was one meme where it was like, Marvel did it, the boys did it, Star Wars perfected it. Where it's like the all-girls scene, and like the Marvel people did it in Endgame with their like all-women scene, and then the boys did like a spoof of it And then
Which is funny.
Yeah, and then the Mandalore was like, hold my beer. Like, we're actually going to do it really well.
Right.
When they like came off the ship.
Yeah.
So like let's backtrack a little bit. Like they find Moff Gideon's ship, and they are flying. Oh shit! Okay, yeah. So we did see Mando's face last.
Yeah, like one, like
Last
it's like
season.
for like 2 minutes in like the second to last episode, so it's very quick, but you do see it.
Okay, we
Sorry.
saw. Anyways, so they're coming in to Moff Gideon's ship, and they have two ships. They have Boba Fett's ship, and they have the other ship. I guess it's a Boca Raton ship.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they're trying to trick Moff Gideon's ship into thinking that like they're being chased by Boba Fett and they need to land immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so they land on the ship and they
Oh
start.
no, they're not in Boca Raton's ship. They're in a ship that they stole from the Empire. So they boarded that other ship that had the scientist on it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then they
that's right.
acted like they were Empire, like having to fly away from the
Right.
Slave
In
One.
the beginning of the episode, they
Yeah.
like commandeer the scientist's
Yes.
ship.
Which, side note, you realize that Boba Fett's ship is named Slave One?
No.
Yeah, I saw that. I kept seeing that, and I was like, that's just weird.
That's
That is-
kinky.
Yeah, it's kind of
that's
strange.
odd.
Anyways, I really wanted to throw that in there at some point.
Right. So they get on the Moff Gideon ship. They're wrecking shop against the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They finally get to the bridge and take control. Meanwhile, Mando is sneaking around, makes it to Grogu's spot where
Yes.
Moff Gideon is with the Darksaber to Grogu's throat. And then Mando and Moff Gideon get into a fight. Mando, of course, wins, takes the Darksaber, and then before him and Moff Gideon get into the fight, his one task for getting the Grogu was to lock down the Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
So the Dark Troopers didn't fuck on them hard.
And he made it sound like before this scene happens that it's like, oh, he's just gonna like lock the Dark Troopers in a room type of thing, like
Right.
stay in your corner, bitches. But then like he has to like fight one, and he is able to keep them in that room, and then he like,
But they're like ripping the doors apart. So
Yeah.
it made it seem like they were gonna get like past that door.
yeah. But then he just opens up the other door, and they just get sucked into space.
Which turns out wasn't a great move.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a
We'll
second.
get that later.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Mando takes the Darksaber, Grogu, and Moff Gideon up to the bridge, and then Boca Raton all she wanted was the Darksaber
Yes.
and the ship, so
Yes.
she could rule Mandalore. But it turns out that the Darksaber is like the Elder Wand from Harry Potter.
Yes.
Whoever
Which I still
wo-
need to write an article about
for
the other site.
wizarding
Yes.
and whatnots.
Wizards and whatnot.
Anyways, whoever wins the Darksaber in combat is now the ruler of the Darksaber, and you can't just like give it to a pal.
Which that goes into an idea or this concept that the reason that they lost the war on Mandalore, why Bo-Katan lost the war on Mandalore, was she was given the Darksaber and it didn't work right for her, and that's why they lost. And so she now knows, like when she's looking at the Darksaber and Mandalorian, Din Djarin, or whatever the hell his name is like just trying to hand it to her, she knows, like that's why she has that look in her eyes of like, I can't take this because the last time I took this without winning it, like I lost this a war. Like I couldn't fight to the best ability, and like I just can't take this. And it's that rule of, and it's the same thing in Harry Potter where Voldemort had that wand. He literally took it from Dumbledore's grave, and it never worked right for him because Dumbledore wasn't the true owner of it, and that was by design from Dumbledore because he had Malfoy disarm him,
Right.
and then Harry disarmed Malfoy, which then had the true allegiance of the Elder Wand be to Harry. And to-
Conveniently.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JK fucking yeah. So that idea of there's some inner machinations and inner workings of this object, you have to be the true owner of it for it to really work. And now because of that all that going into it, now who's the true ruler of Mandalore?
Mando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal. So it's this idea now that like this guy who really never had humanity, who never wanted to be anything more than a bounty hunter and be by himself, is now the ruler of this entire world that he's like always kind of written off.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, that happened, and then all of a sudden it cuts to outside the ship, and all the fucking Dark Troopers are now flying back onto the ship.
Like Iron Man coming to fuck on the
Yeah,
fucking...
Favreau borrowed heavily from Iron Man for these last few episodes. So the Dark Troopers are back on the ship. They have to seal the bridge, and they're getting ready for a fight against these Dark Troopers. And Moff Gideon's like, all you bitches are gonna die.
He's like, all of you, the only ones who are not going to be dead in here when they're done in here is me and, Baby Yoda over there.
Yeah, and the child.
Yeah.
And that's when...
Absolute nerdgasm.
Yeah.
You just see one X-Wing come in, and you see it land, and you're like, who's this about to be? Who's this going to be?
Right.
Who's it going to be?
The anticipation.
And you see the lightsaber light up, and you're
Okay,
like,
wait, before that, like, when you just saw the X-Wing, who did you think it was going to be?
I immediately thought Luke.
Okay.
I immediately thought Luke, and then when he started to walk off, I was like, okay, they're not showing his face, so I was like, maybe not Luke, like maybe they're trying to do like a fake out, and then I was like, and I had seen some stuff on Twitter where it was like, oh, it's gonna be Adam Driver, like a young Ben Solo,
Right.
and I was like, okay, I'd be kind of down for that, like that'd be really, really cool, and I was like, maybe, and then when the lightsaber came on, I was like, okay, that's gotta be Luke, like that's gotta be, and
Yeah.
I still had a moment of like, maybe not. But I think you and I had the exact same moment where you saw the glove on one hand and the other hand didn't. And everybody, we've seen a bunch of people say that, where it's like that glove is when immediately it was just like, holy hell, that's freaking Luke. And
Right.
you immediately knew that that's Luke Skywalker.
When I saw the X-Wing, I thought it was just going to be like some random Jedi out of like, they just introduced like a new character. And then when I saw the lightsaber, it was a green lightsaber, I was like, holy shit, okay, this is probably going to be Ben Solo. And then, I was pretty sure it was Luke, though, but I thought there was no fucking way they're going to put Luke Skywalker in an episode of The Mandalorian.
Right.
Neither did I for a second.
But then when you see the hood and you see the robes, and then when you see the glove on the hand, it's like a dead fucking giveaway.
Yeah, like 100% this is about to be what's his face. Yeah. And so the thing opens up and you have that smoke moment where it's supposed to be a straight, mirror of what the scene is from Rogue One when Darth Vader just cuts down all those dudes and there's all the smoke and he has his lightsaber. And so you have that moment and then he walks in and he takes the hood off and it's de-aged Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of de-aged Mark Hamill?
Oh, it was bad. It was really
That's
bad.
what I thought too.
Wait. So I'm getting straight. They made him look younger.
Yes.
Yeah, so they
That's
tried to make him look like way closer to how he looked in the original trilogy.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It was like and here's what most people have tried to be like. They want Sebastian Stan to now be Mark Hamill or to be Luke Skywalker because supposedly they look like ridiculously alike, and so like it's just de-aging to me is just not like the best technology yet.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't look great.
I mean, when they did it for Leia, it looked like spot on. It was almost perfect.
Yeah, I don't
know what it was about this one. I think what happened was like they didn't try to de-age it all the way back to what he looked like in the original trilogy because where we are in the timeline is actually like further progressed. So like it's not a fully de-aged Luke Skywalker. It's a like somewhat de-aged Skywalker.
Yeah, and I just think with like this, I was about to say something that this article just completely debunked. This says this actress secretly played Princess Leia in Rogue One. I had heard that they used old footage from the trilogy, from the original trilogy, for Rogue One, and that's why it looked a little bit better. Whereas this is they actually took like Mark Hamill's face and used that de-aging technology, kind of like what they've done with Thunderbolt Ross in some of the in-game movie or in In-Game, and what they're going to do with him in Black Widow. And when I saw that in Black Widow, I was like, that doesn't look good. Like that's going to be rough.
Yeah.
And this is much closer to that than I would have liked. But you see that de-aged and you're just like, oh, it's not great.
Is
But
that the photo of him de-aged?
Yes. Yeah.
It's not as bad as I was expecting, but it's not good.
No,
And it's like just seeing a photo of it like doesn't do it much justice, but actually seeing like it moved like him talking and him moving, you know,
and how it
that's true.
sounds.
At least they were smart, where like they completely covered his face in all of the action scenes. But when they like,
Yeah,
you
and
know-
that's why they. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
You know what I mean? Like-
yeah. But you had that kind of the letdown, but it's like cool. That's like Luke Skywalker, and then you immediately get like rejoiced when all of a sudden R2D2 like rolls in.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
just like, oh, this is okay. Back to being badass.
Right.
Like, this is such a cool scene.
R2D2 like strolled in after they ripped our hearts out
Yeah,
by
I was getting ready.
Grogu having to say goodbye to Mando.
And that's why Luke really showed up. He didn't really show up to save everybody from pure destruction. He showed up to take Baby Yoda, Grogu, to go train him fully in the Force. And it is a touching scene where Mando has to say goodbye to Grogu. Grogu has to say goodbye to Mando. And he picks him up, and Mando, Grogu's going to touch his face. And Mando's like, all right, bro. Takes his helmet off, and like Grogu's able to actually touch his face for the first time. And it is such a heart-wrenching, sad scene that, like, me talking about it can't do it justice. It's such a great scene, and Pedro Pascal is such a badass that he did all of that with what amounts to basically a sack of flour in his hands.
They had they had like they had the actual like puppet.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That was-
but he's not acting with like another human being. Like,
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, sure.
He is doing that entire scene by himself and like having all of that emotion coming from him versus what is basically a prop.
Can we talk about real fast how Grogu apparently is like the only survivor of 2
Massacres.
like Jedi
Yes.
massacres now?
Well, and maybe we don't know when he left or Luke's new temple, so he might have left before Ben Solo went batshit crazy or it got murked. I don't know what the timeline
But
is.
it definitely is possible that he was there when Anakin Skywalker massacred the Padawans, and he was also there when Ben went crazy ham.
Yes, it's possible for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's for sure that he was at the temple when Order 66 went down and Anakin murdered all the foundlings. That's for sure.
He was out getting a burger or something.
Yeah, we don't know where he was at. Do you want to cry right now and just watch this, or?
No.
But then, yeah, so it's not known if he was there when Ben Solo went apeshit and murdered everybody. But, so now we have the end of The Mandalorian. Grogu is off getting trained by Luke Skywalker. Mando, we don't know where Mando's going. We don't really know what's going to happen with him.
He does have a darksaber now, so
He does have a darksaber. He is going to have to figure out what to do with Boca Raton. He could maybe go get a vacation with Boca Raton. I don't know. I'm totally calling her that from now on. There's
okay. What's her real name?
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Just so
Bo-Katan.
people know we're not like
Total idiots. No, so Bo-Katan is going to be kind of pissed off that she doesn't have the darksaber, so they're going to have to figure all of that out. But before they can do that, we have a whole nother show that is going to be premiering because Boba Fett has his own show now.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the end scene.
Yes. Before we kind of give our overall review of this season.
So you go ahead and talk about that because I don't know all the names and whatnot.
I don't know the names at all.
All right. Well, Boba Fett. There's a like end credit scene where Boba Fett shoots his way into the little underground place that
used to be the underground lair of Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. There's another guy that had taken over for Jabba the Hutt.
Who was like Jabba the Hutt's like second in command.
Yeah, and so Boba Fett comes in, kills him,
Yeah.
and then takes control of like the underworld.
Yes.
And so now he's Boba Fett the Hutt, I guess.
Yeah, he's Boba the Hutt basically, which is
Right.
gonna be awesome. So he's gonna be in a new show called The Book of Boba Fett, which is gonna be coming out December 2021.
Produced by Filoni, Favreau, and Robert Rodriguez.
Which, when I saw that, I was like, oh, it makes a lot more sense why he directed that episode, huh? But it makes me so happy that he's a part of it because that episode was badass. Like, that was basically a test pilot for his own
the
show.
second to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or no, third to last.
Third to last. When Boba Fett comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to be interested because there's a lot of debate on the tweeters about what is basically happening with Mandalorian now, because what has been said is there will be a season 3 of Mandalorian that is separate from this show, but, and this is where the confusion is now, that people don't know if season 3 is going to start filming after Boba Fett ends filming or after Boba Fett the show premieres. So there is some confusion about if it's either going to start filming in February or March or like next January, February.
So it's either like, well, it'd be kind of weird if we got, because if they kept the same cadence, like they would premiere Mandalorian in like October of next year,
21,
and then Book of Boba Fett is supposed to start in like December of 2021.
Yes.
So, or we could get like a 2-year gap between season 2 and season 3 Mandalorian.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into, and I don't want to say who has been trumpeting these rumors, and they are very much just rumors, but there has been a lot of rumor about Pedro Pascal not being happy with the people at the Mandalorian, people at Disney, about not being able to take his mask off, and there's a lot of people who've said that's BS, but there's just a lot of confusion right now on what the release schedule is going to be, so it's like, don't really know what's true or not. Like, don't really know what's going on.
We're getting so many other like Star Wars shows and Marvel shows. Like, if there's a 1.5 year gap between season 2 and season 3 of Mandalorian. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
No, yeah, I'm not worried too much about it. But Ryan, what was your overall feel about this last episode and the season as a whole?
So I think I liked this season better than season 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the whole season was great. It's awesome.
Which we bitched a lot about some of this earlier stuff because again, it just felt like it was kind of meandering. But
yeah, the first half of this season was like just side quest after side quest
Yeah.
after side quest, but like the last 3 episodes were tremendous.
Yeah, like once they got Boba Fett in, and once they introduced Bo-Katan, and then they introduced Ahsoka, and that was, so it went Bo-Katan, she led them to Ahsoka led them to the island where he could send out his Force signal
Do the Jedi
to Luke.
customer service call.
Pretty much, another sky beam within the Disney world. So you had it all kind of made sense from when Bo-Katan was introduced. So that felt like it was truly instrumental to the plot overall. And even all the way back to like the Timothy Oliphant moment where you got Boba Fett's armor back.
Yeah.
That then led into the rest of the season. So it all connected back these side quests, but it just felt like early on that it was like, what the hell are we doing all this?
Right.
And now seeing it all together, it's like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, like once you get Boba Fett into it, it really felt like this season hit its stride, and those last 3 episodes were an absolute joyride to watch. So I give this season high props. It's definitely something. Ruxton, you've now heard most about The Mandalorian. Go watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out now. I mean, I've been trying to not listen to some of it just so I don't get it spoiled. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Sure.
Wow. It'd be so good.
It's
be a
an
good
absolute watchable show. Ryan, do you want to give a rating for the overall season or
Yeah.
just this episode?
Out of 10.
Oh no,
No. We got our own.
Oh, you
rating
have your own.
system.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the system? Enlighten me.
It's the Jindo Max head rating.
Okay.
Max
it's out
Jindo
of-
head rated. Yeah.
5 Jindo Max heads.
Yes.
Okay.
So this season, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Son of a bitch.
I had a feeling you would say that for some reason.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 for the season from the Furloughed Film Talks boys. I'm gonna give this last episode a 4.5. I think it.
We're doing episode ratings too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it for fuck it, whatever.
4.25 then.
Yeah, 4.5 for the last episode.
4.37, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna split the diff. I think that last scene, and I'm looking at it, and so it's very much recency bias, but that last scene where you have, Grogu touching his face, and it's all coming full circle, and you have this character who had really no humanity to begin the show, now cares for this other being and feels like he's a father figure to him, and to have that moment where that creature is the first thing to touch his face since he was a child is such a cool thing to end what is basically a 2-season arc. So I'm excited to see what they do with Mandalorian season 3 and Book of Boba Fett. But this is a great way to end the second season of The Mandalorian.